Check. We went to go see Kung Fu Panda earlier. We took Caden to the movies. I've been a fan of the Kung Fu Panda series. I think the first 3 were probably the best. Well, really the first 2 were good. The first one was the best. You know, typical sequel thing where they just kind of go in quality. But it wasn't bad. It just was not as good as the first one. But it got me thinking because I did that video not that long ago about, curious about what the deal was with Bluey and why was Bluey so popular and so high on the IMDb rating list. And I've since been watching a decent amount of Bluey because Caden's kind of been into it more. And really trying to understand what it is that adults like so much about it and what it is that, kids like so much about it. And I don't know, I haven't really watched enough of it to have like a full-fledged opinion yet, but I genuinely, personally, I enjoy it. The show is incredibly relaxing for some reason. I think something about the animation reminds me of like Kurzgesagt or something like that. It's very soft, and then there's something very soothing about the Australian accents. But as far as the content of the show goes, it's really meaningful. There's a lot of like really great emotional lessons that I think are being taught in it, but that's not crazy uncommon in shows. I think the aspect that I see Caden as a 2-year-old reacting and binding with so much is just the laughter, the contagious laughter of the children. It's these 2 little kids and they're playing with their parents and they're laughing and having a good time, and that laughter seems very genuine in like the recording booth. And obviously it warms your heart as an adult, but like Caden as a 2-year-old, he laughs right along with them. And a lot of times I don't think he necessarily even knows what's going on, but he thinks it's funny just because the kids are doing something fun and they're laughing. And it just made me think, like, I'm trying to think of all the times I've seen contagious laughter in a kid's show, and I'm drawing a blank. I haven't given it enough thought, and maybe if I sat through and like looked through an entire Disney Plus catalog, I could find other examples of it, but nothing comes to mind. So, but I think like there's a strong, I think its greatest strength is the sort of emotional lessons that are being taught at a very young and elementary level. And that is like, that was the beauty of Mr. Rogers, because it's similar to the same gripe that I have with toys. Every toy that you see that is being sold to children is like trying to solve some sort of education issue. It's trying to be school, essentially. Have a good night. All the packaging, all the marketing for any Fisher-Price store or a toy that you see in Target or Walmart or whatever it always has like a little place on the packaging. It's almost like a Where's Waldo, because it's so consistent. Where it'll be like, improves vocabulary, improves memory, improves hand-eye coordination. And it's like, can it just be a toy? You know what I mean? Like, can it just be like fun? Does it have to also double as a tutor? Does it also have to double as like an education tool? That's what I feel about so much like internet YouTube content. Like Caden recently discovered Blippi, and it tries so hard to package itself as educational content, which I think it does incredibly poorly. But regardless, it's reaching for something that is almost like a finish line for excusability, that like you can pump out any sort of anything, whatever you want for children, but as long as you talk about colors and numbers, it's fine and it's beneficial. I'm going a little on a rant now. The whole point of this is to say that I do think that Bluey fulfills a void that, like shows like Mr. Rogers fulfilled, which is, while there's such a focus on developing kids intellectually to get them school ready, there's sort of a missing priority to teach very young kids emotional intelligence. What anger is, and I see a lot of stuff about sharing and stuff, but to really get into not only, hey, don't hurt your sister's feelings, but to, hey, mom and dad can get their feelings hurt too, and what do you do when you're angry? So I don't know, I think Bluey touches on that. I don't know, I feel like there is a hunger for that in parents, and to have a show that is sort of teaching emotional intelligence to children while also circling back and reviewing emotional intelligence with adults as well is a universally comforting sort of experience. And I think that while that's not unique in a television show, I think it's less common in a children's show. So that's sort of my rough ongoing theory with Bluey. Because I just want to know, why the hell is it so high? I've just got FOMO about Bluey for some reason. I don't know what it is. Anyways, I gotta get back to my investment stocks.